Hi everybody, it's Christy. Today I'm going to share with you my top beauty and fashion favorites from the year 2014. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is my Clarisonic Mia. I have the yellow version and I use this almost every day in the shower. I have the sensitive head, because if I'm using it every day, the other heads are a little harsh for my skin. So I just use this with whatever cleanser I'm using at the moment. I didn't start out with problem skin necessarily, but I do feel like this is keeping my skin up to snuff. I feel like I've got kind of that healthy glow from within, and it's just really helping keep the textures and any kind of problem areas that might arise down when I use this day to day. A shaving favorite that I've been loving is the EOS Evolution of Smooth Shave Cream. This one is in the pomegranate raspberry, but this is actually a shave cream instead of a shaving gel or a shaving mousse kind of. When this comes out of the bottle, it comes out like a lotion, and at first I didn't understand how to use it, but when I use this to shave my legs and my armpits and whatever else, I find that I do not have to put lotion on my legs after I shave, because oftentimes when I shave my legs it dries them out a little bit more, so I have to make sure that I include a little bit more moisturizer for my legs to replenish what shaving has taken away. My future sister-in-law used this product on my hair after she styled it and colored it one day. She's a hairstylist. I believe this is the product that she used because it gave my roots like va-va-voom. It allowed my fine hair to really have volume at the roots, and it was probably one of the best styling finds that I've found. So I'm really happy to share with you that I've been using the Bumble and Bumble powder, dry shampoo, style extender, and volume in a pinch. And this product is it's just cool. I just section off my hair. Like if I had this part here, I would just make a part, I would dab a little bit on it, and I would be good to go to tease or just to work out the oil that's on my scalp. Love, love, love. A perfume favorite of mine from this year is the L'Occitane Roses Rollerball. I picked this up in a L'Occitane store in Dublin when we were there this summer, and this smells like a bouquet of roses. And it's so subtle, it's not overpowering, and every time I put it on, it takes me back to being in Dublin and purchasing it. But it also makes me feel special when I wear this. You know how sometimes you can have a little luxury item like this that maybe you only got the little version because that's all you could afford at the time, but it just makes you feel like you have a little bit more swag in your step that day. That's what this does for me. Some eyeshadow palettes that have been my favorites this year: Revealed 1 and the Revealed 2 palette. These two palettes are by Coastal Scents, and each one of them, let me show you, each one of them nearly mimic the Urban Decay Naked 1, Naked 2 in this palette, and the Naked 3 in this palette. They do not have mirrors on them, which I actually don't mind because I don't use that very much. They're all very pigmented, they're easy to blend. I love every color in here, they're so fun to play with. One of my favorite YouTubers, Emily Noel, did a blog post comparing the Naked 2 and 1 palette to the original Revealed palette, and you can kind of see, I'm a label maker geek, but I took my label maker and across from the shades that she labeled as dupes or close matches for some of those shades in the Naked 1 and 2 palette, I just indicated that here on the lid, on the cover of this, so that when I'm watching a tutorial and they call for half-baked, I know that this shade here in the Coastal Scents Revealed palette is almost a very exact dupe. A cheek palette favorite of mine that I received this summer is the How About Them Apples Cream Blush palette by The Balm. They have the cutest packaging, the cutest naming for all of their things that they do. This palette has 6 colors and a huge mirror, as you can see. But all of these 6 cream cheek colors, these could all be used on your lips as well. I really like to use these with my e.l.f. small stipple brush. I just take that stipple brush, get a little bit on there, and then dot it around and blend it out on my cheek. That seems to be the best format for applying these cream products, and that's why they have a little bit of a stipple in the product themselves. That's all from this brush. They don't come that way. But they're very creamy, they're very pigmented. I've been getting a lot of use out of this cobbler, this reddish color here on the well, my left hand side, but I don't usually wear like a bright red cheek color, but this has been super fun for the fall and the winter. Something else I've heard YouTubers talk about for years now is the Rimmel Stay Matte pressed powder, and a lot of times they'll use this as their setting powder on top of their foundation. I never really have a problem with oil or staying power and that kind of stuff on my foundations, but I didn't understand that this sucker gives a finish like none other. It's so incredibly smooth, and it's very hard to go overboard with this powder. You can see that I rubbed it a couple of times, but it's so smooth and silky, and I find that it just gives my skin, regardless of what foundation I'm using, it just gives my skin like an airbrushed finish. And for a couple of dollars from the drugstore, you just really can't beat this kind of an item. I like to apply it with my e.l.f. complexion brush. And this is from their Studio line, but I just dab a little bit in there and dab it all over my face. And I love the finish that this gives me. I have the color 005 in Silky Beige. Another finishing powder that I've been loving this year is my Ambient Lighting powder in Dim Light. And this powder is just one of their famous lighting powders that have been kind of taking the YouTube community by storm. It does have a nice little mirror on there. But again, this is so smooth and so soft. When you put your finger in there, you just kind of want to keep playing around in there. It's just such a silky powder. And maybe that's the key to these products, because when I use that as my setting powder or as a highlighter on my cheek, it just reflects the light in such a beautiful way that it doesn't look showy, it doesn't look like I tried too hard or anything like that. I also use my e.l.f. complexion brush with the dim light to apply all over my face. If I'm using this solely as a highlighting powder, I really like to use my e.l.f. large stipple brush. And I just get a little bit on there and I just touch the areas of my face that I want to highlight. Out of all of the contouring products and bronzers that I've tried, the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer has been my absolute favorite. This is the only one that will show up on me in the summer. So you can see how much of a difference there is now. Even more so in the summer, I get more and more close to this color, and it's one of the only ones that will show up. So I've been loving the smell because it smells like cocoa. And I've just been loving the way that this goes on and blends up. I've been mentioning a lot of e.l.f. brushes for some reason. I guess I use a lot, but this is the e.l.f. powder brush, and it has a very sharp cutoff here on the brush, on the bristles, and I just dip the corner and get a little bit on the edge of my brush, and I place that right in the hollows of my cheek, and that's where I start my contouring. So this brush with that blunt cut really helps me get the product exactly where I want it to go. CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation, and currently I'm using the color Medium Beige 842. This foundation is awesome. I find when I use this foundation, I very rarely ever have to use a concealer for any kind of blemish. I very rarely use under eye concealer. It just provides such a cool finish on the skin, and it buffs out really, really well. At first it doesn't look like it's going to buff in, but then it does, and it almost turns into like almost like a powder finish. Your face doesn't look cakey or anything like that, but it just looks so smooth. You can't see any streaks or anything like that, but I love the coverage. I love the finish. This is my go-to for 2014. My favorite lip color of the year is a Rimmel Kate Moss lipstick, and this one happens to be in the color 08 in Rosetto, I think is the name of this particular item. This lipstick is my lips but better. When I have this on, I don't feel like I have a lot of makeup on. It's a very natural look for me, but it is just a better version of my lip color. I never feel dried out. I feel like I can reapply this without a mirror, without really worrying about it. I love this. My favorite mascara for 2014 is the Clump Crusher Lash Blast, and this is an older tube, but it's about ready to be thrown out. But I love this mascara either for when I'm going for kind of a natural eye day, and I use it on my upper and lower lashes, or if I'm going for a little bit more dramatic upper lashes, I'll use another mascara, but I will always use this on my lower lashes. They never streak. It never runs if I cry. It doesn't flake. It doesn't come off until I want it to at the end of the night. Love it. I purchased a Physicians Formula eyeliner trio in their Custom Eye Enhancing set, and it's in the Warm Nude Eyes Shimmer Strip collection. But the black in that, even though I went for the brown, the black in that container is probably the best black mascara I've ever used. So this is the black Physicians Formula mascara or eyeliner that I've been using, and it's just a roll up, so you don't have to sharpen it, which is really, really nice. But I've been using this and I've been putting it in my waterline and tight lining with it to help my lashes appear a little bit fuller, and it does not move. I have this stuff on all day. I can go back and see if I need to retouch anything. It's not going anywhere. When and if I need a winged liner or a liquid liner on my upper lash line, I have tried several, but my favorite has been Lorac Front of the Line Pro liner, and this one is in, does it say? Just in black, in noir. So this eyeliner is so easy to use. The tip on it is such a fine tip, felt, and I have never had any problem with the product coming out too much, too little, too flaky, too streaky, not black enough, nothing. I love this eyeliner and I will repurchase it when I run out. My favorite eye primer for my eyeshadows, because if I don't prime my eyes, my eyeshadows seem to just fall off. I don't know where they go. They don't crease necessarily. They're just gone. So if I want my eyeshadows to last all day and into the night, I do love using the Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer. I've used a lot of different eye primers in the past, and this one just seems to be the best option for me. And it keeps my eyeshadow on the longest and gives me no problems. A fashion favorite that I'll show you right now, although the battery's dead and I need to get a new one in it, is my rose gold watch by Charming Charlie. Charming Charlie is just a costume jewelry store. They have incredible, beautiful pieces for not a lot of money. Oftentimes when I wear this watch, I get a lot of compliments, but oftentimes when I wear it, I think people get confused with the CC on the face. You see that there on the top, and they think that it's a Coco Chanel watch, which sometimes I've corrected, sometimes I haven't. My Comfort Plus by Predictions heels, these are just black pumps, and the heel isn't very big on them. I don't know, what is this, 2 inches? Something like that. I don't wear heels very often because my feet are sore from the RA and all of that, so unfortunately I've had to kick a lot of the heels out of my life. But these particular Comfort Plus ones, I get them at Payless. You heard me right, I get them at Payless. and they cost less than $30. I think they're $24.99 maybe. But in the sole of each of the shoes, they have a little bit of a memory foam type sole to them, but it gets a little stronger and thicker down here at the ball of the feet where you really get that burn from walking around on high heels. I can wear these puppies all day, every day for a week, which I've done working, which is a lot of standing and walking around, walking to the parking lot in the rental car and all that kind of stuff, and not have a problem. When I talk about a miracle heel for somebody with rheumatoid arthritis that still wants to be able to wear a little bit of a heel every once in a while or for work, check into this brand. I've said it for years and years, the Maurice's store, which is a clothing store here in my area that we have in my town, is the best Maurice's I've been to in the entire country. When I travel for work and I see a Maurice's, oftentimes I'll go into that store and I will take a look at the things that they have there and see if there's anything that I want to purchase. But I never find things that speak to me or speak to my style the way that I do when I go to the store here in my town. And that's kind of awkward because it's one of the only clothing stores we have in our town. And there's a lot of repeat fashion that happens because we only have that one store here in town. But I always find that I can find a piece or two here and there to add to my collection and mix and match with whatever I already have, and it works out just perfectly. One of those items that I really love this year is this sleeveless tank tunic from Maurice's. I think that's intended to be like a snakeskin design. It is a little see-through, so I do wear a camisole under it, and I did get a size that's long enough to cover my front and my butt, you know what I mean, when you're wearing leggings. So I've really been loving this shirt, this tunic, and I've been placing it over all kinds of leggings, skinny jeans, pairing it with sweaters and jackets and all kinds of things. So this very versatile piece, and I love having that in my collection. Another favorite I'll share with you are these Airwalk moccasins shoes. I believe they're supposed to be shoes. Again, I got these at Payless. I got a size bigger because sometimes at the end of the night my feet are swollen, my ankles are swollen, and I want a little bit more room. Even though these are meant to be shoes, I use them as slippers at home. So I'm sorry about the dog hair on them right now. But I use these as slippers at home. They are fur lined. They have a little bit of a, I don't know my animal prints. Is that leopard or cheetah? I don't know. Anyway, I love the ruby red color of these slippers, and I've been wearing these now for months and months, and my feet don't get too hot. I never feel too tight in there. I just love those. I did want to include a couple of fashion and beauty fails for me this year that I've run across. I was super excited about all of these things, and then they just did not happen. They did not come out right for me. And want to warn you before you go out and get some yourself. So I mentioned earlier we don't have a lot of clothing stores here in town. Oftentimes I'll take a look at Kmart and Walmart that we have in our area, see what they have out there. I do find great things. One of the things that drew me in to the legging section was this Love, Peace, Dream split white and black legging set. I believe these are Joe Boxer. They're the most uncomfortable fabric of life. They feel like regular leggings when you're holding them. They're soft, they're kind of silky, but once you stretch them at all, it turns into like tissue paper on your skin. It feels terrible, awful, and these were a big fail for me, which makes me sad because I loved the print. Another fail for me was the Mitchum Clinical 48-hour Powder Fresh deodorant. This is not a fail for me because of the product that's inside, but it is a fail for me because of the packaging. So it lifts up just like a lot of deodorants do, and it has all the holes at the top and a roller ball here at the bottom. I can turn this little sucker now, but in the morning when my hands are tired, and that one was hard, and I can't really grab onto that little roller ball on the bottom. I have the hardest time getting deodorant up out of this stick. I have to use a towel, or I have to use one of those gripper things from the kitchen in order to get the product up out of the holes so I can put it on my armpits and be powder fresh for the day. So again, I like the product inside itself, but the packaging is super hard for me to use in the morning. I love going into Lush stores. I like the idea of natural products and, you know, removing any kind of things that you don't need on your skin and your hair and your body and all those kinds of things. So I picked up their No Drought dry shampoo, and I was so hopeful for this dry shampoo, and as you can see, I have a lot of it left. Again, I won't say that the fail is necessarily due to the product inside, but more to the packaging. This just simply has one of those pop-up, I spilled a little, one of those pop-up lids, kind of like a body soap in the shower. And it's super hard for me to get the material out of here and onto my hair or onto my hands. And I've tried it a lot of different ways. I've tried it on a large stipple brush like this one. I'll put some on there and, you know, try to go along my part or my hairline and use it. Or I've tried to put it in my hands and rub it in. I've tried to part and dab, 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 but it gets clogged up and it gets plugged, and it is just like a waste of my time in the morning. And I just don't sometimes have the dexterity to be messing around with a product like this. So although it smells lovely, like grapefruit and lime, I can't use it, and it makes me sad. Thank you all for watching my beauty and fashion favorites and fails of 2014. I hope you had a wonderful year, and I hope you have a blessed beginning to 2015. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.